Today I'm going to react to your favourite rides at Tropical Falls. Now normally at water parks or water park theme parks for this matter, the number 10 spot on our list may be a lazy river or a mini coaster, but not over here at Tropical Falls. It is Citrus Cyclone, the park's source of water slide, and whilst do not get me wrong, on this adventure you'll be twisting and turning through many tubes and not experiencing the giant thrills of a trapdoor water slide or even a funnel section like we'll be doing later on, but it's pretty cool, especially with those saucer elements as you see the giant open areas. Don't really see the point of those, but it's still quite cool as you make your way down to the final splashdown. Even so, if you still see this slide as a basic slide and you'd rather something a bit more, how do we say it, unique, well then look no further than our next attraction, Forbidden Falls, because once again you'll be boarding a raft, but this time amongst the many twists and turns inside and out of a tube, you will enter into a funnel section. Yeah, it may not be a humongous funnel section, but what it will enable you for starters is to rock back and forth. But here comes the best part, as if you are in a one-person raft, you will also be able to spin around, meaning that for almost half the side, the remaining half, you can go down backwards. And that most definitely creates an experience that will never be forgotten. If you remember earlier, this water park is a water park theme park, although it could be called a theme park water park, as basically within your admission, you do not just get the amazing slides, but also the rides too. And our first one has got to be a wild mouse. I mean, you can't have a theme park without them. And while still, I would normally suggest doing the uniquer ones first, if you get a chance to ride, you will not be disappointed. Cause what makes wild mouses so awesome is that amongst being able to sit 4 in a row, which is pretty unique, experiencing many sharp twists and turns, on this one in particular, before you know it, the mouse will begin to spin around. And just imagine how it must feel like to be whipping around those turns whilst also spinning around non-stop, not knowing when the next turn or drop or anything like that is coming. So watching it right now, you may want to have a sit down after. Or how about a lie down after? Because on our next attraction, Rally Racer, you will be able to lie down, not on your back though, on your front. Yes, on this side, before you even get onto the racing part, you will be able to race down the many twists and turns, and of course drops on your front. So no lifeguard will be telling you off this time for going down forwards, with it being the entire point of this side. But as you can only imagine, we are only halfway there, because what makes it even more awesome, if that is possible, is that instead of sitting with 3 or 4 other people on the wild mouse, on this one right here, you'll be able to race those 3 people, turning those friends into enemies, frenemies, as you make your way to the bottom and find out who is the Aqua Chaser champion. If you are scared of heights, then it's probably best to look away now, as we have now got Tangerine Scream, and despite the Tangerine part sounding quite nice, the Scream part most definitely doesn't. Even so, if you still dare to take on this tangerine coloured slide, you will be basically dropping over the edge, plummeting down where the Scream part comes in, before splashing down at the end. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But if that does not make you scream your lungs out, then I do not know what will. Maybe its neighbour, Pranha Plunge, because unfortunately on this side, you will become the piranha, which will be plunging, with you starting at the same sort of spot. Although instead of pushing yourself off into the giant plummet, you will in fact begin in that futuristic pod, where you will cross your arms, stand for what feels like an eternity, before you then notice the only way down is via that door at the bottom. Yeah, the trapdoor that will send you dropping into many tubular twists and turns at such a fast speed that you really don't know when the next one's coming, before you then enter once again into the cave ending, making, you know what, Tangerine Scream seem like a piece of cake. From riding a tangerine coloured slide to dropping like a piranha, to just now racing your very own stunt plane, things are getting crazier by the second, and Air Racer will test your endurance like never before. Cause the difference between this and even your normal stunt plane experience is that you'll miss out all of that takeoff, the landing, the hovering in the air, and just go straight into the tricks. I mean, just look at this thing. For the entire 2-minute duration of this ride, you will just be flipping upside down again and again and again while spinning around in circles. But for me, the worst part of this ride anyway is not when you are strapped into the plane or flipping upside down consistently, but in fact when you are held upside down like that plane there for what feels like an eternity. Oh, I'm sorry, did you think of a thrill stop there? We are just getting started. This is Alabama Wham'a. I love that name. Although, as much as the name is totally awesome, the ride for many anyway will most definitely not be. With, in a nutshell, you boarding a singular seat, which is quite weird because there's no one this side or this side either, and then flipping upside down once again and again, with nothing but the laws of physics and the centrifugal forces which will leave you to fly outwards, holding you in your position. The one thing I would say though is that even though from off-ride you cannot even see the people, with it spinning around so fast, if it's possible, making it more intense than Air Racer. Unlike Air Racer, if you're on the entire thing, screaming the whole way round, no one can see your faces because you're in a singular seat. Who here loved their childish swing set? Well, of course you did. It was amazing to swing back and forth higher and higher, but as you got a little older, the fun of doing so kind of fades away. Until now, that is, as on our next attraction, Twister, you will be able to experience that fun on a much larger scale. And by much larger, I do not mean like some gyro swings where you'll be swinging so high into the sky that the people seem like this, but I mean much larger in terms of the thrills, because even though this ride is smaller, if anything, it makes it more intense. As of course, you will be swinging back and forth higher and higher, but with it being smaller for starters, you will be swinging much more and spinning much more too. Although what you may not notice until it's too late is that like the last two rides, this one too will be sending you upside down and holding you up there too. Therefore, at the end of the day, whilst it will not be sending you flying through the sky, providing that amazing wind rushing sensation, I think flipping upside down, spinning around non-stop, and being held up there is enough thrills for one day. As much as you can not have a water park without the slides, you can not have a theme park without the coasters, and our next attraction, Rollin Thunder, is most definitely an amazing one. So amazing in fact that if I was going to talk about every great part, from the vertical lift hill to the crazy twists and turns, to the inversions, to the airtime hills, to the memories you can share, we will be here for an eternity. So instead, I am going to give you one final tip, which would be to ride this earlier on, as with only having one or possibly even two trains, which is not a lot for this sort of ride, you could be waiting for ages, or even worse, not get a chance to take on this beast of a ride. Thank you all for watching, bye bye.